tomorrow afternoon, but a lot of fans will be focused on former National Player of the Year, Jimmer Fredette, who will have his jersey retired at halftime.
Fredette with a three. Bullseye! What a shot by Fredette!
Fredette shakes him. That's amazing.
The game tips at 2. We start our pregame at noon with Cougar Sports Saturday. The Utah Jazz are being fined $500,000 by the NBA for resting their stars during the fourth quarter of 2 recent games. The league says the team removed Lauri Markkanen and Jared Jackson Jr. from the games early to purposefully lose. Losing will help the Jazz retain a better draft position. Owner Ryan Smith responded to the fine in a post on X saying, "Agree to disagree." Our top national story this hour, home prices are on the decline. According to the National Association of Realtors, prices fell 8.4% in January. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze explains what may be the factors.
Home sales plunged 8.4% in January. That's the biggest monthly drop in nearly 4 years. A couple different factors at play here. The weather was unusually cold, which could have dampened people's home searches. Prices are still high, and uncertainty in the jobs market can hold buyers back from making a big purchase like a home.
Half of all existing homeowners right now have locked-in rates that are below 4%. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 65 points. We're at 49,517. Coming up, we've got 50s this weekend and another storm next week. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:02. Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
This is Doug Wright. You've heard me talk now for years about the Kinetico soft water system that we have in our home. As we head into the colder weather, if you're dealing with dry and itchy skin, do you notice your skin is cracking, it's uncomfortable, and the lotion doesn't seem to give you the relief you need? Hard water may be a hidden contributor to that pain and discomfort of dry, itchy skin. I've got Monty here from Kinetico Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake, an authorized independent Kinetico dealer and an expert in overcoming challenges with hard water here in Utah.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. When you shower in hard water, the minerals don't rinse away completely, forming a film in your skin, leaving you feeling tight, dry, and constantly itching.
So the hard water minerals are essentially leaving a sticky residue on my body and even in my hair?
Exactly. Kinetico removes the minerals before they touch your skin, leaving you feeling silky, smooth, and comfortable.
Do what I did and stop buying expensive lotions and start treating the source of the problem. Find out how soft your water could be at softwaterutah.com.
Are you looking to upgrade your home this year? Advanced Window Products is your local window and door manufacturer that sells direct to the public.
That's right, celebrating 40 years serving Utah since 1986. And right now, it's the New Year, New Window sale. Get $2,500 off when you buy 10 windows or more.
Our windows are made right here in Salt Lake City. Sales and installation are all in-house, meaning no middleman markups. You get the most affordable, high-quality custom windows in the state.
We build it, we install it, and we guarantee it for life.
Every window comes with a lifetime warranty, labor, glass, and parts included, serviced by our local team, and the warranty is transferable to the next homeowner.
Financing is available too. Save now, pay later, with payments as low as $150 a month.
Buy local and support the local economy. Don't wait. Buy 10 windows or more and get $2,500 off. Beat the rush and call today.
Call us at 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or visit us at advancedwindows.com.
How do they get so excited about 50 yards?
Think of what you could sew with that.
But you need a really great sewing machine, a Bernina.
Get Bernina sewing, serging, and embroidery machines and accessories at fantastic prices. The Bernina Super Weekend Sale.
Don't miss the Dave's Bernina Super Weekend Sale at their Provo and St. George locations. Now until February 14th.
Save hundreds to thousands of dollars on all new Bernina machines.
0% interest for 48 months on certain machines.
Even the most advanced sewing machine in the world, the Bernina 990, is on sale.
Incredible savings on top of the line special event demo machines that come with full 5-year warranties. Take advantage of 20% off Bernina and Burnett presser feet.
Dave's Bernina just received a limited amount of school buybacks in excellent condition with 2-year warranties. With a doorbuster price of $4.99. Dave's Bernina, 691 East St. George Boulevard and 2017 North 550 West in Provo.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.44% on savings at uccu.com. And here's Jason Jones.
The only real trouble spot we have is northbound I-15 off-ramp to go northbound on 89. That off-ramp remains closed. They're still working to clear up that accident that happened on that off-ramp. So you're going to need to find an alternate route if you would typically go northbound 89 from I-15. The rest of I-15 is looking pretty fantastic. Now, down south in Utah County, the roads are fairly dry, and you're not going to find too much trouble down there. However, the further north you get, like up into Weber and Davis counties, we're definitely seeing wet roads, lots of rain actively falling up there. So you're going to want to slow down, use some caution if you're driving around up north this morning. Looking for the best Valentine's gift ever? Exclusive Valentine's blankets only available at Minky Couture. Use code KSL50 online and in stores to receive 50% off your purchase. Visit minkycouture.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Cloudy today with a high of 48. We're into the 50s for the weekend with another storm coming in on Tuesday that might bring some snow to the valley floor. Overnight lows around 29 degrees. Right now it's 39. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio. Eye on the Hill 2026. Special coverage on Inside Sources.
Well, there's a pitch on Capitol Hill that wants to make your kids' school lunch healthier. Representative Kristen Chevrier has introduced several bills aiming to enhance awareness of chemicals in foods and products. And who would have thought it would have taken a bill to get titanium dioxide out of your kids' lunch? To me, that one seems like a no-brainer.
It doesn't sound very appetizing.
No, not at all.
So we were on the Hill yesterday, which was actually really fun, and I was kind of teasing you. We should go do a show at the Matheson Courthouse. So, because on the Hill is like where I love being. At the courthouse is where you love being, I'm sure.
Yeah, you were like a rock star up there yesterday.
Yeah, it's just because I've been involved for 25 years.
It was fun. It was fun to watch.
So we do have on the line with us Representative Kristen Chevrier, who has this bill. Thanks for joining us, Representative.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Good morning.
Good morning. Will you just talk to us about your school lunch bill first, and then we've got a couple of other questions about other bills.
Sure. So the school lunch bill is just a follow-up on the one that I ran last year. Last year we removed the rural schools because there was some question about whether they would be able to afford the changes, and so we just, as a quick decision, decided to cut them out. And that ended up losing us votes on both floors because the legislators felt like their kids were just as important as the kids in the big districts. And so as soon as the session ended, I went to the smaller districts and talked to superintendents. And initially, I was going to give them a big presentation on what it was that I was asking and why I thought they should implement it. And it turned out that they just wanted to know how to implement it. They were all in already. And so I asked them if they wanted a bill or if they wanted me to just let them do it on their own. And they preferred to be part of the bill. And so I ran the bill again this year to include them and the charter schools. I am getting some pushback. Apparently half the charter schools like it and half of them don't. So we're working on that. And last year we took out titanium dioxide because we had some pushback. And again, I had just been elected and we were moving very quickly. And so I took it out. But then most of the other states that passed similar bills left it in. And we decided it was actually probably important to have it in there. So we're adding that back in.
So what else is in the bill? I noticed that specifically, and I read a bit about it. I have a background in chemistry and engineering before I went to law school, and it seems like one of those substances we don't want in our food products. But what else is being contemplated with this bill?
So the only things are adding the rural school districts and charter schools which the charter schools were still negotiating on, and the titanium dioxide. And then after the bill made it to the Senate last year, we had some school board members come to us and ask us to remove the food pantries from the requirements because their concern was that people wouldn't know what to donate, and then they would end up not having food for the kids who needed it. And at that time, I didn't want to change the bill. It was a bit of a struggle getting it through in the first place. And so I said, we'll fix it next year. So that is the other thing that is in the bill, and that's it. Getting the food pantries off of the requirement. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, no, it's okay. I have two questions. So food pantries, you're talking about the pantries inside the schools. Is that correct?
Yes. They have apparently pantries where kids who need food can come and get food. And they were concerned that because it's the community that donates to it, they didn't want to put too many restrictions on the families and community members who are donating to that pantry.
Okay. And then my other question is really about titanium dioxide. What is it, and why are people putting it in food?
It's a whitener, and I was told that it was put in non-fat milk to make it look whiter so that it's more appetizing, because non-fat milk looks blue. But when I went and looked at labels, I couldn't find it in there. So I'm not sure if it's in some and not in others. But in the year that's passed since we passed the bill, school lunches have now been changed to include whole milk instead of the skim or 2% milk. So I don't think it's even an issue in the milk at this point. It's also in chewing gum. You know, when you have the white, crunchy, sparkly stuff on the outside of your chewing gum, that's titanium dioxide that makes it white.
Yummy.
Yeah, I actually looked it up, and you're exactly right, Representative. It's a white powdery substance that highlights like candy and icing and frosting and makes them whiter, but it's not healthy by itself at all.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can ask you about your bill related to chemicals and feminine hygiene products. That's something I've seen off and on in the news, and I wonder if you can just explain a little bit to our listeners about that.
Yes. So apparently there's arsenic, and I think it's arsenic, lead, cadmium, and PFAS that have been found. And PFAS, that's a blanket term for forever chemicals, like Roundup and things like that, that are being found in feminine hygiene products. And as you can imagine, that's kind of a concern, and because things are absorbed through the skin. And so we wanted to make sure that people know that it's in there. I don't believe that most of that is in there intentionally. I think that some of it does leach into the cotton from the soil. My question would be, why is it in the soil? And I don't know whether it's naturally occurring or it's because of things that we spray on crops. That would require some research, and it might be something that's worth an interim study to figure out more on where it comes from. But what we're asking is that the things that are in there be labeled and the concentrations be noted so that people know what they're using.
So just as a follow-up to that, this bill, would it apply only to products manufactured in Utah? How would it apply to maybe large companies?
So that's a good question. I believe it would be for sales in Utah. So it would require labeling for Utah, but there are several other states that are looking at this too. So it could be like what we saw with the food additives. As soon as Utah passed our first bill on that, a wave went across the country. And there were multiple states that passed similar bills, some of them more restrictive than ours. And then there was a press conference in D.C., which I actually got to attend, which was fun, where the manufacturers were asked to start rolling back the food dyes that were being put into the foods. And after that, we saw many companies announcing that they were removing food dyes from certain things. So I think the same thing could happen here. It's just a matter of somebody starting the ball rolling.
All right.
And
thank you. We appreciate that. Thanks, Representative Chevrier. We'll keep an eye on those bills. And when we come back after this break, we're going to talk about the thousands of Utahns that are requesting their names be removed from a redistricting petition. It's bumping up against the deadline for submission, too. We'll talk about that in a minute.
For years I've said this, when it comes to the person you love, there are 3 dates you never, ever want to forget or overlook. 1, birthday. 2, anniversary. 3, it's Valentine's Day. And the perfect place to celebrate Valentine's Day with the one you love, it's Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. First of all, of course, the best food you have ever had. But the ambiance, the wait service is absolutely incredible. And we have 2 locations. One, Hotel Park City, up in the mountains after a day of skiing. That would be perfect. And of course, also in downtown Salt Lake City at 275 South, West Temple. The steaks are divine. You're going to love the seafood dishes, poultry, whatever it is, cooked to perfection at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Be sure to make your reservations now for Valentine's Day.
Women go through many changes in their lives. And we believe each milestone matters. That every new candle represents another step in your story. Our healthcare experts support women at every stage of life. Because each chapter deserves to be celebrated. Women's health. Nurture what's next. Find care near you at mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health. Human kindness lives here.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy, Febreze. La, 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 la.
Grand Staircase Escalante is under attack. Utah politicians are hastily racing to dismantle protections for this special place, one of America's most treasured national monuments and an important part of southern Utah's economy. An overwhelming majority of Utahns support protecting the Grand Staircase for future generations. Yet our voices are being ignored by those meant to represent us. Now's the moment to speak up. Learn more about this attack and what could permanently be lost at suwa.org. Paid for by Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
And expanded Inside Sources. Inside Sources.
Well, organizers were hoping to undo Proposition 4, which was an anti-gerrymandering law that was approved by voters in 2018. They were hoping to get enough signatures to put it back on the ballot and see if they could get that law changed. Of course, we've been talking about this a lot because there's actually sort of 3 fronts by which there are attempts to get rid of what
I think
ended
there's
up being-
4 now.
Maybe so. Anyway, they needed to get 141,000 signatures, and they needed to get so many signatures for certain counties. They had to get a threshold in a number of counties.
Right.
Not only are they a little short for that, and I think they're running up against a deadline, but we're hearing now that some people that have signed the petition are asking that their names be removed.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not just a few people, it's thousands. And in fact, Salt Lake County Clerk Lonnie Chapman said she's never seen anything like this. So we have with us on the line Bridger Biel-Svetka. I hope I said your name right, Bridger. It's a Friday.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you did a story for KSL.com along with Daniela Riviera, and I'm wondering if you could talk to us about this repeal effort, people submitting their request to have their name taken off.
Yeah, like you mentioned, there's a deadline coming up in a couple of days. We've seen a lot of signatures be added, and there's been an effort for the last couple of weeks by Better Boundaries, the group that helped pass Proposition 4 in 2018, to convince people to take their names off. So we were curious just how many people have done this, how common this is. So we actually reached out to every county clerk in all 29 counties and got information back. Excuse me. And while most counties have had maybe a handful up to 20 to 50 in that range, Salt Lake County had over 1,200 so far as of last night, which they say is unprecedented for a push this size.
Is there a mechanism by which people can have their signatures withdrawn? I mean, we've talked about that a little bit. I mean, I would assume there has to be, but what are the county clerks telling you about how that process works?
Yeah, the process is you have to send in a physical paper asking to have your name removed. So you can mail that in. A lot of people have been going in person into their county clerk's office, turning those papers in. Well, Daniela was speaking with Lonnie Chapman, the Salt Lake County clerk, the other day. She actually ran into a couple of people who were walked in during that interview to have their names removed. So at least in Salt Lake County, this is something that's happening on a pretty regular basis.
So where does this petition stand?
As of right now, this morning, the latest update is I think there's about close to 89,000 signatures that have been verified by the state. That's of the approximately 141,000 that they need total, but they also need to hit thresholds in 26 of the 29 Senate districts in the state. The last I saw, they only had 4, maybe 5 of those Senate districts complete. So they still have a lot of work to go this weekend because the deadline is Sunday at 5 p.m. to collect those.
Yeah, that's what Holly and I were just talking about. We thought the deadline was coming up pretty quickly. It's the 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a question about that. If they submit basically a whole bunch of signatures between now and 5 p.m. on Sunday, how long will it take for those signatures to potentially be verified or not verified?
Yeah, if there's a lot that come in, in the next couple of days, we may not know. Sunday or Monday, it might take a few days. From talking to people, it sounds like the clerks overall have capacity for maybe several thousand, maybe 10,000 signatures a day to process statewide. But that depends on where those signatures are. So it could be a little longer, but could be looking at several days or maybe even a week out if there are 50,000 signatures that are turned in at the last minute.
Bridger, I'm wondering if you or Daniela had any feedback from people who were having their signatures asking that they be withdrawn, because there was some notion that some people felt that they had been misled about what they were signing.
Yeah, we've talked to a handful of people who have felt that. We've reported on other instances of some misleading claims that have been made as people are out collecting signatures. At least one woman who spoke with us at the county clerk's office said that she signed the petition not fully understanding what it did, realized after the fact when she saw a news report about misleading claims and realized that she didn't want to put her name to it, so she went in to sign. It's also possible that people knew what they were signing, and changed their mind or changed their opinion, but it does seem like some at least are driven by feeling like they didn't fully understand what they signed in the first place.
So this effort is to remove Proposition 4 from the Utah Constitution, basically the area that was voted on in 2018 that would create an independent redistricting commission, and then put also some guardrails on if the legislature didn't take their recommendations for the commission, that they would have certain things that they needed to do when they redistricted. That's what we're talking about. And it has been confusing, but this effort to get it removed is being run by Utah GOP Chair Rob Axson, but also some other Republicans as well. What is Rob Axson saying about this?
Yeah, well, as far as the misleading claims, he says there have been a couple of bad actors or a couple of people that have potentially engaged in some fraud in a case in Utah County. But he says, they have, I think, close to 2,500 volunteers and employees. He says most of them are doing this, or a lot of them are doing this because they care about the issue, that they're going out doing their civic duty to put their names on the ballot. He says they're still working hard to get this across the finish line by Sunday. As for the number of people that have taken their names off, he points to the organized effort by Better Boundaries. He says there is organized opposition, which is in part why we've seen so many people take their names off in the last couple of days.
We're speaking with Bridger Beal Svetko with KSL.com, who worked with KSL TV's Daniela Rivera on this. And Bridger, to be clear, if the signatures are gathered, if they get the 141,000 signatures and they get the threshold with the Senate districts, there would be another vote on the ballot in November, correct? Where the voters could decide basically the same thing that they voted on in 2018. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So this just puts it on the ballot. In this case, it would be to repeal Proposition 4, the gerrymandering law that was passed. So voters, if they qualify, then we'll probably be talking about this for the next several months through November, because there will be a vote on whether we want to repeal that law or not.
Is there a sense from the Republicans and some of the groups that are trying to gather these signatures that it's hopeless at this point, or are they still working hard? Because what are we, 48 hours away?
Yeah, I mean it's getting really close, just over 48 hours. They're not giving up. They have events all over the state this week, over the next couple of days. Turning Point Action, a group aligned with Turning Point USA, is hosting a couple of events. They've gotten some endorsements from President Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr., who are promoting this effort. So, I think people acknowledge that they have an uphill climb over the next several days, but they're working hard and doing everything they can to get it across the finish line.
Thank you for joining us, Bridger. We appreciate that story. And, Rob Axson texted me and said, hey, I want a chance to respond. So we told him to go ahead and call in. So we're waiting for his phone call.
Yeah. And here's a little bit more from KSL TV's Daniela Rivera, who shares one example, like Bridger just talked about someone who did want to remove their name and spoke with Salt Lake County Clerk Lanny Chapman.
The homeowner told us his mom voted in favor of Prop 4, but she has an Alzheimer's diagnosis and got confused. She's now one of hundreds of Utahns seeking to remove their name from the petition.
We're seeing many each day.
We've learned Salt Lake, Utah, Weber, Davis, and Cache counties have received the most removal requests, with more than 1,200 in Salt Lake County. Clerk Lanny Chapman says it's unprecedented.
We've never seen anything like it in Salt Lake County.
To put that number in context, Chapman told us last year when signatures were being gathered to repeal House Bill 267, a collective bargaining ban for public unions, they received just 12 requests for removal.
We've never seen something to this extreme.
So if they're at, I think Bridger said 89,000 signatures and they need 141, that's over 50,000, and they're losing perhaps as much as 2,000 or 3,000. I mean, it's maybe they're working hard this weekend, but it seems to me that they're under the gun. They're going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Well, when we come back after the break, we're going to speak with Rob Axson for a few minutes before we transition to Utah's Capitol Hill for discussion of a bill up there. So stay with us over the break.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story, a new bill would expand the list of ingredients that cannot be served in Utah school lunches. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis.
The bill adds titanium dioxide to the list of ingredients not allowed in Utah school lunches. Bill sponsor Representative Kristen Chevrier tells the Deseret News titanium dioxide is normally used in things like skim milk or toothpaste to make them look whiter. This year's changes would also remove an exception for charter and small schools, asking them to fall in line with lunch requirements for other public schools.
Chevrier says the Make America Healthy movement has caused a culture shift and helped her run several similar bills. The Rocky Mountain Power headquarters had to shelter in place after a man barricaded himself in the bathroom. The Salt Lake City Police Department says they were pursuing the man before he ran into the building and locked himself in there. No employees were hurt or threatened during the standoff. We're still working to hear more about why exactly the police were pursuing him. Our top national story this hour, a federal judge has blocked the Pentagon from trying to punish Senator Mark Kelly and other Democrats who took part in a video telling service members they can refuse to follow illegal orders. ABC News Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz.
U.S. District Court Judge Richard Leon forbidding Hegseth's attempt to reduce Kelly's rank or retirement pay, saying this court has all it needs to conclude that defendants have trampled on Senator Kelly's First Amendment freedoms and threatened the constitutional liberties of millions of military retirees.
The judge said the Pentagon and Defense Secretary Hegseth trampled on Senator Kelly's First Amendment freedoms. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 159 at this hour. We're at 49,611. Coming up, we're going to be up in the 40s today, 50s for the weekend. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:32. A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. Utah State Fair Park and Washington County Fair Legacy Park. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Utah State Fair Park. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington County Fair Legacy Park. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Starting price is too low to advertise. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Utah State Fair Park and Washington County Fair Legacy Park. Deep, deep discounts. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Tired of hot, uncomfortable dress shirts that don't hold up? Meet Serve Clothing. The mesh collar shield blocks sweat stains, and built-in vents keep you comfortable under suits in any season. Extra length stays tucked. Antimicrobial fabric keeps you fresh, and every shirt is backed by a 2-year guarantee. And right now is your chance to get the best for free. Head to serveclothing.com/win and enter for a chance to win $500 in free Serve shirts, so you can start your mission with gear that works as hard as you do. While you're there, get mission ready at the Serve Missionary Hub. Hear from recently returned missionaries. Get mission tips, advice, and more at serveclothing.com/win. Serve shirts sold out 4 times last year. Enter the $500 missionary giveaway and grab yours before they're gone at serveclothing.com/win. Serve Clothing. Dress shirts that actually serve you. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents aged 18 or older. Void where prohibited. Entry must be received by May 31st, 2026. One winner will receive a $500 credit to serveclothing.com. Official rules and details at serveclothing.com/win.
Every day here in Utah, people turn to KSL News Radio for one simple reason: trust. Trust for our reporters, hosts, our coverage, and trust in the businesses heard right here. I've met so many of our listeners over the years, and they'll tell you KSL is part of their daily routine, in the car, at work, at home. And when they hear your business here, it carries the weight of that trust. It isn't just another ad. It's a recommendation coming from a reliable source. When you advertise on KSL News Radio, you reach a loyal, highly engaged audience who listens intentionally. They show up for breaking news, accurate information, and meaningful conversations. And because of that connection, they respond. And when you pair our on-air credibility with digital tools like display advertising, social media, streaming audio, search, geo-targeting, and retargeting, you get a full funnel strategy that works and reaches the right people at the right time. Get marketing that truly moves the needle. Partner with the voice Utah trusts. KSL. Learn more at kslnewsradio.com/advertise. Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.44% on savings at uccu.com. And back to you, Jason.
So the off-ramp is still closed, northbound I-15 to northbound 89, as they are continuing to work on cleaning up this accident there. So, again, if you are northbound I-15 and you would typically get off to go northbound on 89, you are not going to be able to do that still. You'll need to find an alternate route around that, another exit somewhere else on I-15 in order to go northbound. If you are northbound anywhere else, though, on I-15, it's all looking fantastic. Southbound as well. All along the Wasatch Front, no resistance, no other accidents that we have that we're dealing with. You do have some wet roads here or there, so you probably are going to need to slow down because of that. Otherwise, though, everything else is looking pretty decent. Your major feeders over to I-15 also looking good, and all the backups we had on Wasatch Boulevard are cleared out. People have made their way up the canyon to go skiing this morning. Whipple Service Champions is Utah's most trusted name for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical services, and they're your first choice for offering honest second opinions. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, today we'll get up to 48 degrees with some clouds up to the 50s this weekend, 58 on Monday. But then another storm moves in on Tuesday, bringing rain and snow. Right now it's 39 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, we're just over 2 days away from the deadline, I think, for organizers to get the signatures they need to put the vote to repeal Proposition 4 back on the ballot this November. We just talked to Bridger Veal-Spetko from KSL.com, who indicated that some people are asking that their signatures be removed and that they still haven't reached the threshold. Rob Axson, Utah GOP chairman, is on the line with us to tell us maybe they're down but not out yet. Is that right, Rob?
Oh, absolutely. And I wouldn't even say that we're down. We are in a very strong position and are eager to engage with our fellow Utahns to put this on the ballot. For those that want to count us out, for those that are spending millions of dollars to oppose us, I want to ask the question, what are you so afraid of? What are you afraid of letting the people of Utah decide? I think it's disingenuous for groups to claim that they want to elevate the conversation for their fellow Utahns on the one hand, and then when we're doing that very thing, they're working actively against us. We're very confident with the position that we're in, but we do want to invite every Utahn that cares about having their voice heard and cares about making the decision for themselves rather than outside groups or unelected commissions or judges. Let's put this on the ballot. Then we can decide as a state come November.
Well, Rob, to be fair, I think people who are opposed to this effort feel the same, right? They feel like the people did weigh in 2018 when they voted to put Proposition 4 in the Utah Constitution. So why is it that you are wanting to put this back on the ballot to revisit this?
In 2018, the voters of Utah were asked a question of establishing the Independent Redistricting Commission, which could provide recommendations that the legislature could accept or reject. They rejected many of those recommendations. Now, through a court filing and a legal process, a judge has said, we're going to throw out the legislatively adopted maps, even though it was their right to reject them, and we're going to ignore Article 9 of the state constitution that gives that authority to the legislature. I don't think that the people of Utah anticipated, by and large, in 2018 when there was a very razor-thin majority that voted for Prop 4, I don't believe that they thought that meant that they were going to ignore the Constitution and ignore their legislative engagement and representative government. So I think it's a different question.
Yeah, you just confirmed a question I was about to ask, which was, Rob, that this was a very, very close decision in 2018, and perhaps voters, at least in your opinion, may be rethinking this in light of what's happened with the courts and with maybe perhaps a better understanding of the Utah Constitution. Is that part of the reason you want this back?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. It's out of about 1.1 million votes. There was a difference of just about 7,000 votes, so 50.24% of the vote. And, we've seen a lot of how it's been implemented, what's working, what's not working over the last number of years. So again, what's the concern about letting Utahns say, did we get what we wanted back in 2018, or do we want to reconsider putting it on the ballot? And that's what we're asking people to do, to sign the Prop 4 repeal. That doesn't make the decision. All that does is put it on the ballot so that then we as Utahns can decide what we want to do. Do we want to stick with Prop 4? And if that's where Utahns want to go, more power to us. I can respect that decision. But if they want to say, no, it's not working the way that we thought, let's remove it. I think that's appropriate too, and we shouldn't be afraid of that conversation.
So one final question before we let you go, but what is your response to thousands of people asking for their name to be removed from the petition?
So looking back in Utah history, the most that we can find of any type of spending that was put onto a removal effort was in the tens of thousands of dollars. Right now we have millions of dollars being spent. Obviously, that's going to drive up some response. And if somebody truly wants to remove their name, more power to them. But what about the tens of thousands, 100,000 plus that have gone and signed and have done so willingly and have done so eagerly? We have people all over the state of Utah, some driving hours to go and make sure that their signature is added. I think in this KSL reporting that was done, they found what they were looking for. They found a couple of people that wanted their names removed. How about go and find the people by the tens of thousands who are eager to put this back and care about representative government? So to any Utahn that wants to add their name to that, they can go to ufrg.org/calendar. They'll find locations today, tomorrow, and Sunday where they can go and sign and put this back on the ballot. Again, let's respect the process. The process here in this country is citizens engage. We shouldn't be afraid of that.
So I guess I do have one more question. How can we verify that amount of money being spent? I've tried to look and I can't find it.
So it's all reportable. So you can see it. You'll see more as they disclose more. It's a concerted effort. It's one that you don't have to take my word for it. You can go to the LG's website and a host of other disclosure requirements that are out there with groups that have been established just for this effort. So it's interesting when you have these forces outside of Utah that they want to protect this surprising additional congressional seat that they seem to see that they have in play in a state that they weren't expecting. So they have every right to go and engage the way that they do, but I would call on every Utahn, stand up and you make the decision. If you agree with us, great. If you disagree with us, that's fine too. But for everyone that agrees with the thought that representative government matters, and this should be a decision decided by Utahns, go to ufrg.org/calendar and sign your name to this petition.
Rob, I know we've told you last question, but I have a last question. What do we know, if anything, about the group or groups that are spending this money to fight this? I don't know who they would be. Maybe you don't either.
There's some that we know. There's things that we're learning as it all comes together. But what I'll tell you is there has been an unprecedented opposition to this effort. You look at all of the other referendum and initiative efforts. Do you see the assaults? Do you see the thefts? Do you see the opposition? Do you see the money being spent against Utahns the way that it has against this initiative? You don't. And in spite of that, we have people by the tens of thousands rallying to defend representative government. I need them to keep coming. I think you're going to be surprised at how many signatures we have that have been turned in, that will be turned in. We're going to keep running to the finish line to get every additional signature possible so that we can overcome the nonsense that's being thrown our way. It's despicable that in a country and in a state that should respect dialogue, that should respect the fact that sometimes we disagree, you have assaults, you have thefts that are trying to prevent this. Utah's better than this. We know it's a lot of forces from outside of this state, but we're not going to put up with it. And we're going to have our voice be heard by putting our signatures on this repeal effort.
All right. Thanks so much. We've been speaking with Rob Axson, the chair of the Utah Republican Party, and they have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to be able to turn in the rest of their signatures.
He seems to be optimistic that, in fact, that can occur. I mean, there is a lot of work ahead, but they must be hitting the ground running pretty hard this weekend.
Yeah, and it is a holiday weekend, so they may have some issues with people, or maybe they're going to be out and about on date night.
Yeah, maybe it'd be even more people would be out, yeah.
Okay, so as we head into the month of March, we're going to have Roots Tech, which is a global family history conference coming to downtown Salt Lake. But the global part of it is there are keynote speakers from around the world. We're going to talk with one of the organizers about that when we come back after this break.
The Management Minute is a service of the MBA program at Utah State University. I'm Professor Scott Hammond. I was asked to coach a senior leader who was described by his colleagues as being aloof and difficult. As I observed, I noted that he rarely listened. Without fully understanding, he would then offer thick, layered advice. This is what I did. I put a timer on his desk and said for the first 10 minutes of any meeting, you cannot do anything but ask questions. But they cannot be questions disguised as advice. They must be non-prescriptive questions like, say more about that. How do you feel about that? What did you think about that? The turnaround was amazing. I can't believe what I've been missing, he told me. My colleagues are much smarter than I understood. My job is to give them confidence, not answers. Learn more about non-prescriptive questions with an MBA from Utah State. Go to utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
More than 50 million Americans suffer from a form of mental illness.
And Utah isn't immune, with nearly 1 in 3 people dealing with anxiety, depression, or another form of mental illness.
But there's hope. We can all take action to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe.
That's why KSL has teamed with the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation to bring you hope and help you thrive.
It's Healthy Mind Matters.
Find out more at healthymindmatters.com.
Are you looking to upgrade your home this year? Advanced Window Products is your local window and door manufacturer that sells direct to the public.
That's right, celebrating 40 years serving Utah since 1986. And right now, it's the New Year, New Window Sale. Get $2,500 off when you buy 10 windows or more.
Our windows are made right here in Salt Lake City. Sales and installation are all in-house, meaning no middleman markups. You get the most affordable, high-quality custom windows in the state.
We build it, we install it, and we guarantee it for life.
Every window comes with a lifetime warranty, labor, glass, and parts included, serviced by our local team, and the warranty is transferable to the next homeowner.
Financing is available too. Save now, pay later, with payments as low as $150 a month.
Buy local and support the local economy. Don't wait. Buy 10 windows or more and get $2,500 off. Beat the rush and call today.
Call us at 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or visit us at advancedwindows.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Do you spend half your day walking or standing while working? If you have foot, knee, or back problems, the Good Feet store wants to help you like we helped Tony.
Pain that I experience the most is foot pain from being on my feet all day. You're having to kind of talk to yourself through the whole shift, like, I got this, I can do this. Before, I felt defeated, and now it's like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. A whole new life, like sunshine coming on.
And how about working more comfortably, like Dennis?
Working at an amusement park, it's always on your feet. I just couldn't take it, but I didn't have a choice. I just couldn't believe that putting these arch supports in made that much of a difference that quickly. I could do my job and I could take care of my family. I know what my tomorrow's gonna be. It's gonna be positive.
You deserve a better life too. Stop in the Good Feet store today. We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, Flo here to say that Progressive knows that life can change quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, like when I have to take my ex off my policy.
Oh, sorry. But yes, we can do that.
And can you send them a message and tell them that they have trust issues that they need to work on?
We don't really get in the middle of these conflicts.
Also, can you let them know that I was faking interest in his band and it's probably time to grow up?
I'm not going to do it. Just know that with Progressive, you can easily make changes to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Also, I'm staying in touch with his mom because she's absolutely lovely.
Bad idea.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Mom and Dad used to argue about everything, especially about Dad's drinking. My family went from totally crazy to quiet, calm, and even peaceful when Mom started going to Al-Anon family groups. I wanted a better relationship with Dad, so I asked Mom if she would take me to her Al-Anon meetings or to Alateen. I'm sure glad I did. Is someone's drinking troubling you? You might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon or Alateen family group. from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-ALANON or go to alanon.org.
When you need the financial products and services for every stage of life, Cyprus Credit Union is there for whatever the future holds. Visit cypruscu.com today.
Inside Sources.
You mentioned, Holly, that Roots Tech, a global family history conference, is coming up in March, and we wanted to talk to someone who's involved in that. We've been having some conversations about this, and I want to share something later on about one of our listeners who did a little family history for me. It's really fun. But we can get to that in just a minute.
So one of the things that's really fun and one of the things that I enjoy and don't have as much time as I would like to spend on it is family history, right? Where do we come from? And in fact, you know that we have a lot of kids that are adopted, and I've got some that are like, can I research my biological family? I'm like, yes, but you might find dead ends. But we do have this big event coming up, and we have on the line with us Cameron Harper. He's a Family Search Events team production manager. And one of the things I think that changed with this Roots Tech conference after the pandemic is instead of being a localized event just in downtown Salt Lake, which was very popular, it became a worldwide event. So thanks for joining us, Cameron.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm wondering if you could talk to us about putting together global virtual keynotes and what that even looks like.
Yeah, so like you talked about, the event over the last few years, especially since COVID, has become a global event. And as part of that, we really want to tell stories from around the world that could resonate with people all around the world, but also here in Salt Lake, because this world is so connected, and our stories really intertwine so much.
What can you tell our listeners about what they would learn, what's happening at this event, and what the feeling is around the world as we look at family history and whatnot?
Well, with these virtual keynote messages in particular, we did 4 of them this year, and it's really a way for these audiences to be motivated and to hopefully see someone else making family history discoveries themselves, someone maybe that they look up to or admire. And then ideally they're relating that and bringing that back to their own lives, saying, they have these stories, I have my own stories. And, hopefully they're able to connect with those stories themselves, because when we connect with our past, when we connect with our own stories, really we learn more about ourselves.
Can you talk to us about who your international keynote speakers are, or where they're from?
Yeah, so this year we have 4 virtual keynote messages that we've done. Virtual keynotes are kind of like a mini documentary is how we've put them together. It's like a lifestyle piece where we go and spend a day with some of these people and have them tell their stories, and it gives our audience a peek into their lives. So this year, the four that we've done that with, the first was Jose Hernandez. He is the first migrant farm worker turned astronaut, and he's so cool. He actually had a movie made about him a few years ago called A Million Miles Away, and just has this wonderful story how he started picking vegetables in the field with his parents, and was motivated and went through school, had so many difficulties, and ended up being an astronaut and spending time on the International Space Station for 2 weeks. And his story is so great. We also have Jessica Soho. She's from the Philippines, and she is a Peabody award-winning journalist with the #1 rated news show in the Philippines. She's been on the air down there for 40 years. Everyone knows her, loves her, respects her, and she has such a wonderful story. She actually, a few years ago for her news story, she was able to go back and trace her father's roots in China. And we talk with her a lot about how she connected with her father and with her Chinese roots, about something she never really knew about before, but was able to go visit the town where he lived and where he grew up and make those connections. We also have the Gardner brothers. You might have seen them online. They're these 2 brothers. They're Irish dancers, 5-time world champions, and they performed in Riverdance for several years, and now they have a large social media following and are content creators. They actually were runner-up for the TikTok video of the year in 2025 last year. So really talk with them. Our theme this year at Roots Tech is together, and they couldn't do what they do every day without working together. And then finally, we had Zico. He is a world-renowned soccer player and coach. We were told he's from Brazil, and we were told he's the second most popular soccer player in Brazil, right behind Pele. And he's now a grandfather himself, and so we were able to talk with him about his upbringing, but also how he's trying to pass on what he learned and his life to his grandchildren. So amazing stories, and it was quite an honor to be able to be a part of telling them.
Cameron, we spoke to someone a week or two ago about how artificial intelligence has actually entered this realm and is making a difference. Is that going to be addressed at this conference?
Yes. Artificial intelligence is changing. It's a game changer in family history. It's making the records that are out there more easily accessible, more easily readable, understandable, and it's really something that it's like I said, it's changing the landscape of family history. So people are going to be able to access and find records easier. They can find the names, find those dates, find those, AI reads that 1800s cursive and handwriting that's so hard for us to really understand. It does that work for us. And it's a big focus of everything we do at Roots Tech.
Cameron, when audiences watch these keynotes, and by the way, I have seen that movie about the astronaut. It was so great. What do you hope they feel by the end of these keynotes?
Really, like I said, it's just we look at these stories, and family history takes work. I think it's a little daunting for a lot of people. But really, if you get into it, for me at least, it's always been about the stories. It's about what have my ancestors done? What were their lives like? And I draw connections and draw those parallels between my own life, and then am able to apply that to me and really resonate. It resonates with us personally. So hopefully they see these virtual keynote messages and understand that can be them. They can put themselves in those shoes, in their shoes. They can see themselves in those stories, and also in the stories of their ancestors.
Cameron, for our listeners who are interested in perhaps watching this, including myself, tell us where they can go, when it is, and how they can find the website.
Awesome. So rootstech.org, all of these virtual keynote messages actually went live today, just about 2 hours ago. So you'll be able to see them. You go to rootstech.org, just scroll down a little bit to where it says keynotes, and you'll be able to see these videos. They're all about 15 to 20 minutes long. And then you'll also see we have some in-person keynote speakers coming to Roots Tech this year. We have Marlee Matlin, we have Steve Young, and we have a National Geographic explorer named Tara Roberts, whose story is fantastic. So you can click on those, learn a little bit more about those people, watch these virtual keynote messages, and also some of the, see what else is coming at Roots Tech, all the classes and amazing things that we have to offer this year. Roots Tech is March 5th through the 7th at the Salt Palace, and then available online everywhere.
And then maybe this is the last question, but it seems like the interest in family search and family search events is more than ever. We're talking about it maybe more than we have in the past. What do you think is going on?
Well, I really think it's just people are, we spend so much of our lives focused on other things. And really I think, like other things that don't matter.
Yeah.
And when you focus on your family, and when you, we're all out to make real human connections. We're all out trying to better understand ourselves and understand the world. And I think family history and connecting with your past is a great way to do that.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Cameron.
Yeah, that was fun. Cameron Harper, Family Search Events Team Production Manager. And that starts in March, but you can go and see some of the individual keynote speakers now.
Right now, yeah.
Virtually, yeah.
You have 30 seconds to share your story. Hurry.
Oh, yeah. Well, one of our listeners actually contacted me the other day, and she said, I hope this isn't a problem, but I did some research on your grandfather, and I want to share it with you. So I'm like, sign me up. So she learned a lot about him. She shared a little bit, and we're going to meet, and she's going to tell me.
That's so amazing.
I was very, very happy. I was so pleased.
That's really awesome.
She was so kind about it.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Well, tomorrow's Valentine's Day,
Woo-hoo.
And we're heading into this weekend. Younger adults are reportedly facing a dating recession, showing less interest in dating and marriage. Now, I hope that's not a coincidence. We'll learn more about that when we come back.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story. If you've got any travel plans this President's Day, UDOT says you should expect some delays.
Baseball tournament, the Virgin River Half Marathon, and then the Parade of Homes is also happening. So there's a lot of activities, and I think with some of the warmer weather that we've had, there's going to be a lot of people out there trying to enjoy some warmer temperatures.
UDOT's John Gleason says people in central and southern Utah can expect up to 30 minutes in delays on I-15. He recommends people leave for their vacations early to beat the traffic. A man has been charged with threatening high school students taking part in ICE protests. Unified Police says Cheyenne Jacob Webb got into an argument with a group of those students and made them believe he had a gun and would use it on them. The entire incident was captured on video and showed as evidence to police. Our top national story this hour, Americans are paying more to put a roof over their heads and food on the table.
The cost of shelter was the biggest factor in the 2.4% rise in inflation from last January to this. The reading came in lower than analysts had predicted. Food prices, including prices paid at the grocery store, rose nearly 3% over the same period, but were partly offset by lower energy costs.
Your money at this moment. The Dow is up 193 at this hour. We're at 49,645. Coming up, we've got a warm weekend in store. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:02.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Are your investments in the right accounts? What's best, traditional or Roth? Are you receiving all available tax deductions? Are you paying as little in tax as you can? These are all questions you can't afford to get wrong. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth, and in many cases, it's not what you make, but it's what you keep that makes the real difference. Trajan Wealth and Trajan Tax work closely together exclusively. No more guessing about whether you should do a Roth conversion, or if maxing out your 401k is really the best option. Our nationally recognized fiduciary advisors and CPA team work in tandem to make sure your tax strategy works with your investment strategy. We'll even do your tax preparation. One team, one strategy. Isn't it time for a second opinion? Call Trajan today, 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Amanda, I've been taught to begin with the end in mind. And when it comes to something like weight loss, that's really, really important because some weight loss plans have no end. It's like another refill or another bill or another year. But Soda weight loss has a finish line.
You learn it once, you use it forever. And I'm all about health. I mean, I don't want to have my body become addicted to another drug that I have to take forever in order to be healthy. I want the opposite of that. I want fewer medications. I want my body to learn how to do this on its own and be strong.
For so many weight loss drugs, you have to just take them forever in order to maintain that feeling when you cross the finish line. Yeah. When I hit 70 pounds that I let go of in 5 months, what an amazing feeling. And it was amazing to know I could just go forward from this point.
You can talk to a nutritionist and ask all your questions at 866-800-SODA.
Or you can go to SOTAweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Because at SOTA, join us for a short time to have results that last a lifetime.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Direct deposit gets you $300. Love where you bank. Jason?
Amanda, I have seen a tow truck move into place of this accident that was northbound I-15 off-ramp to go northbound on I-89 there. So hopefully they can get that cleared out here in the next little bit. It's been a while since that ramp has been closed. As it remains closed now, you're going to need to find an alternate route. Roads are still fairly wet in lots of places. Into downtown Salt Lake City, we are starting to see a little bit of buildup. We're going to run a little less than 70 miles an hour from about 13th South into downtown Salt Lake City. That's really the only other spot of slowing that we have. Everything else is looking pretty good, although Pioneer Crossing is fairly heavy. They do have those construction barrels out on Pioneer Crossing as you try to make your way over to I-15, so that's almost certainly what's adding to the delays there. Save hundreds to thousands on all new Bernina machines at Dave's Bernina in Provo and St. George. 48 months, no interest, great deals on demo and used machines with warranties. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
A high today of 48, 52 on Saturday, mid to upper 50s on Sunday and Monday before a storm moves in on Tuesday. Right now it's cloudy and 39 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, that's more of a breakup song, but tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and as it turns out, we are facing what people are calling a dating recession. Younger adults just don't want to date as much as they used to, and there's recent data that shows fewer younger adults are dating nationally and in Utah, and they're also showing a declining interest in marriage altogether. They're calling it the dating recession.
Well, we have this new research from the Wheatley Institute at Brigham Young University. We have with us on the line Dr. Alan Hawkins to talk to us about this dating recession. And look, I see it in my own young adult kids. They date less often. They're less interested in getting married. When they do get married, it's older. They're having babies older, certainly older than I was when I got married and had kids. So thank you for joining us, Dr. Hawkins.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for your interest. I think it's an important topic.
Yeah, so what is going on with this dating recession? What's behind it?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me clarify. I don't think the data suggests that young adults in their prime dating years, and I'm talking kind of 21, 22 up to about 35, I don't think the data supports the idea that they're less interested in dating. Oh. Now they're dating less. We only have less than a third of these young adults in their prime dating years are dating on any regular basis. But the data we have from a national survey also suggests that actually they want the connection that's in dating. They have pretty traditional ideas about dating. Datings are about forming, serious romantic relationships, about exploring what you want in a future partner, exploring my own desires in these kinds of relationships. They want that connection, the deep connection. They do want to be dating, but they're not dating very often. And we think, and our data, I think, support that it's really more of a kind of a skills deficit, that they're lacking those skills and especially the confidence in their ability to, it's only about a quarter of young women and about a third of young men who say that they feel like they know how they can reach out and express interest in somebody that they are interested in. I mean, the most fundamental dating skill that there is. And so I really do think it's more of a matter of confidence and skills rather than a desire.
And I'm wondering, Dr. Hawkins, if part of that is because of these dating apps and the fact that dating can be fairly anonymous. I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have dating apps. You had to work, you had to have some skill, you had to have a little confidence. Now you can get to know someone without even meeting them just through these dating apps. Maybe that's an unfair suggestion, but I'm just wondering if you think any of that's behind what you're describing.
My sense is that those dating apps could, there could be some helps in terms of meeting people, but I don't think they help you with building up the skills that you really need for dating, those communication skills, that ability to put yourself out there a little bit. And a fundamental skill, which a large proportion of young adults say they don't have, is the ability to absorb some of those negative experiences in dating and stay resilient and stay engaged in the game, so to speak. Our survey respondents report that that's a big barrier in dating. About half say that they turn down dates because of bad experiences in the past, and so I think that's another skill that we have to help them learn. But the dating apps, I think, could actually be productive if they had some of the other skills. And you may be right in that the ease, the swipe left, swipe right kind of ease of dating apps may work against the real kind of face-to-face skills that you need to be effective in your dating. And by the way, there's good data emerging now that suggests that it's not just the old fuddy-duddy adults and parents who are worried about dating apps. A lot of the young people now are really pretty tired of the dating apps and understand some of the limitations that they have.
I really appreciate your clarification at the beginning about the interest is there, but the activity is not there. They're not actually dating. Is there a difference between young men and young women in their desire to date, or they're actually going on dates?
We didn't find large differences between men and women. Men are report being a little more active than women, but not a whole lot more. And in terms of their attitudes and other kinds of activities and the barriers that they report to dating and the purposes that they want, for dating, we didn't find a whole lot of difference that way. So I don't think we need to scratch our heads and wring our hands about differences between men and women in this world. Almost all of them are having some challenges and difficulties.
Dr. Hawkins, did you find differences with respect to age? That is to say, are younger people less likely to jump in, or maybe more, or maybe older people sort of jumping out? What did you find there?
We were expecting those age differences. So we looked at what we called those prime dating years, and we said that it's 22 to 35. And yes, we were thinking that we would find a lot of differences between the younger dating or the younger adults and the older young adults. And it was really interesting. We did not find a whole lot of differences that way, minor things here and there. But I think this is something experienced across the age range, these challenges that we're talking about. And we didn't see much difference in terms of how much they are dating. An interesting thing as well is we asked them, we focused on those who had some expectations that they would marry in the future, so that their dating was connected to a potential future expectation and even aspiration. And the vast majority, 85%, said that they did. And, the dating among those who don't expect to marry is interesting, but that's not what we focused on. Interestingly, though, for every age group, their expectation to marry was about 5 or 6 years out. And the older they got, it was the same kind of horizon, 5 to 6 years out, so that their marital horizon always seems to be moving with them forward. And that they see a pretty long space between, I'd like to be dating now, and I think I'm going to be married by this age, usually about 5 to 6 years hence. And so again, age wasn't a big factor in what we saw.
That's interesting. We don't have very much time left, but I wonder if you could say, what can people who are interested in dating do to get the skills that they lack right now?
Yeah, one of the things I've done in this report, we've done for the State of Our Union's report, is offer a strong invitation to relationship educators out there to help young people develop these skills. And I think we can develop. I think they are things that we can develop. We can learn how to communicate better. We can learn how to reach out. We can learn how to kind of absorb some of these negative experiences. And so, the influencers out there, the people on social media, I think they can do a little bit of education this way. Maybe parents could help in just encouraging their young adults to kind of get out of their comfort zone and look at that. I'm a member of the Utah Marriage Commission here in Utah, and we, on our website, strongermarriage.org, we have an online e-course called Dating Ready. It just goes over the basic skills. And so maybe parents could help their young adults think about that and reach out. And I think just as a general culture, we just need to be more encouraging. It's almost as if we have said that, maybe dating isn't that important these days. And maybe we could just all be a little bit more supportive of young adults and helping them think about these things, showing them where they can learn the skills, maybe sharing our own experiences, those kinds of things.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. That was Dr. Alan Hawkins that we just talked to. And we want to have this next segment focused on our listeners. So are you single? Are you in a relationship? Are you celebrating with your broader family? What are you doing to celebrate Valentine's Day? You can call us 801-575-TALK or text us at 57500. We'll be right back.
Mortgage interest rates are at their lowest point in nearly 2 years. So why go to a bank or credit union when you can go to Loans by Rick? Rick has been doing mortgage loans for 25 years, and many customers go to Loans by Rick after shopping banks and credit unions to get a lower interest rate and lower closing costs. Whether you're buying a home or refinancing, call 801-809-SAVE or click loansbyrick.com. Rick Kirschenbaum, NMLS 241179, and Vintage Lending, NMLS 287106. Equal Opportunity Lender.
The Movie Show, broadcasting live today from Sound Sleep Medical in Sandy. And I'm joined by Mandy Nelson. Now, Mandy, it's Valentine's weekend. You have a big heart on your shirt.
I do.
And it's interesting how what we're going to talk about relates to the heart. We're talking about sleep and sleep apnea and getting it treated, and how maybe people don't realize the effect that untreated sleep apnea has on your heart.
Yeah, it really does. A lot of the long-term side effects of sleep apnea and leaving it untreated is stroke, heart disease, dementia, memory loss, all those things that we don't want to have to deal with when we get older.
Yeah, I was told when I finally got my sleep apnea corrected, congrats, you just added 7 years of life because you're taking stress off your heart. And I was like, oh. And I've noticed, too, when I don't use my oral appliance and I take a nap on the couch, I do wake up with chest tightness sometimes.
It's true. It's true. It's really scary. So today we are offering a free sleep screening. So if
I like free.
Yeah, we love free. If you snore, wake up throughout the night, your wife's nudging you all night long, give her a Valentine's gift. Come in and do a free sleep screening. Find out if you have sleep apnea, and then we have a different solution rather than a CPAP machine.
Yeah, think about this is the best Valentine's gift. You could say, I'm going to give you this Valentine's gift that it's without price.
Right.
You're going to get a good night's sleep because I'm going to get a good night's sleep. And then she'll be like so happy.
Well, yeah, happy wife, happy
he
life.
will be so happy.
Yeah.
And then they don't even have to know that it was no charge for the test and for the evaluation.
Exactly. Yeah. Just call and come in. They don't even have to know you're doing it.
All right. Well, the number to call to make an appointment, you got to make the appointment during the movie show to get this deal. 801-716-8672. That's 801-716-8672. And you'll get a test, you'll get a sleep consultation, and then they'll find out about why this is different than a CPAP machine.
Right. So we treat with a mouthpiece. It's an oral appliance, a custom fit device, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit more later.
We will. 801-716-8672. Make that appointment with Sound Sleep.
A warning on cryptocurrency kiosk scams from AARP Utah. Scammers are getting smarter, and Utahns are paying the price. Criminals are using cryptocurrency ATMs to commit fraud, stealing people's retirement savings and costing Utahns millions of dollars a year. Many scams start with an unexpected call, text, or email from someone claiming to be a trusted source, like your bank, a business you use, or even law enforcement. They'll tell you there's an urgent problem and instruct you to take cash to a crypto kiosk or ATM. They may even stay on the phone pressuring you to act fast and keep it secret. But once you feed cash into a crypto ATM, it's converted to cryptocurrency and sent to the scammer's wallet. And it can be almost impossible to recover. Remember, no legitimate organization will ever ask you to pay with cryptocurrency. Learn more at the rising cost of cryptocurrency scams by visiting aarp.org/UT. A message paid for by AARP Utah.
Women go through many changes in their lives. And we believe each milestone matters. That every new candle represents another step in your story. Our healthcare experts support women at every stage of life. Because each chapter deserves to be celebrated. Women's health. Nurture what's next. Find care near you at mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health. Human kindness lives here.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Inside Sources.
See, when we want to have a love song, our producer always finds something by Taylor Swift. I got to go back to the Beatles. This is actually Paul McCartney, who was one of the Beatles, but this is one of his solo, and it's one of the songs I think of as just a classic love song.
Okay, well, we are talking about Valentine's Day, of course. It also today, because it's the 13th, it's also Friday the 13th, by the way. I don't know if that's good luck or bad luck, but it's Galentine's Day.
I saw that. What does that mean?
So Galentine's Day was something that came from a TV show, and it's also, people say, Palentine's Day. So the gals can get together if they want to do something. Oh. The guys can get together and be the pals. But it's anyway. So people sometimes celebrate Valentine's Day by really going all out. And in fact, there's a fun story that I saw in the news over the weekend about a guy up in Logan that, like, he just does something major every year for his spouse. But my spouse and I, we haven't ever done a ton on Valentine's Day, but we do have some family things that we do. And one of the things we do is make a pink/red meal. So we have a lot of food dye, but we do pink mashed potatoes and red Jell-O and those kinds of things. So,
you know what was interesting about the last speaker that caught me? He was talking about this report that he did. It's the state of our unions.
I know.
Report. How genius is that?
I know. They're very clever.
The state of our unions report.
So I wanted to read. We do have some texters, and if you want to call us, please do. It's 801-575-TALK, or you can text us at 57500. But this texter says they're not doing anything for Valentine's Day. Prices get ramped up. I'd rather treat my significant other on any of the 364 days of the year where I'm not getting price gouged. Okay, fair, right? Another one says that they were married in 1979 for 5 years, and they've been single for 45 years now after that. And then one of the things I think, too, that we see and that I saw this number is that even though, like, we had this dating recession, and yet we're going to spend a record amount of money on Valentine's Day this year. The National Retail Federation's anticipating that we're going to spend $29.1 billion on Valentine's.
You know, I think there is a dating recession, and I'll just tell you this in my own life, just dealing with people. I talk to more men today than ever about their frustration with meeting people and the fact that they do meet people online, and it's 9 times out of 10 a scam, a way to get money, and they just become frustrated. And I'm glad I didn't date on the internet. I'm just glad I didn't. But all these men are telling me I spend money, you do this, you send money to that, and it's all just, and so they don't even want to go date anymore. But people need to go back to the gym or to go to church or go to the grocery store. Meet people the old-fashioned way.
To meet people the old-fashioned way.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter, who turns 26 on the 16th, actually, she says she can't meet anyone. It's because she doesn't go do anything. She goes to work, and she is great. She's a teacher, but she's a teacher of junior high students, and of course, right, she's not going to meet people at work, and then she stays basically at home, although she treated herself to dinner last night. So we actually have Facebook comments as well on our Yeah, they are. So why don't you share some with us?
Yeah, so here's one. I have a teenage boy, and we are good nowadays getting chocolate-covered strawberries from the store for Valentine's, and that's how we celebrate it, with something that's a little healthy but also a little bit bad for us.
Yeah, one of them says, at our age, all the goo goo gaga is just a waste of money. But after Mass, we're all making a special meal. And by that, I mean, I bought all the food, and my partner, he's the best cook, is making us fresh homemade crab and shrimp ravioli. Holy cow. I'm making heart-shaped ravioli tonight that I bought at Costco.
So I think this with Valentine's Day, you have to do something. It's Valentine's Day.
I don't know.
So,
yeah, it became a really great commercial holiday. I think marketers really capitalized on this. And, I listened to Midday with Maria Shileos yesterday, and she had a guest on that's a chocolatier. And it was really funny to hear him say that Valentine's Day is their second biggest holiday after Christmas. Makes sense. But one of the things he said is that the women start looking at Valentine's gifts and chocolates for Valentine's around the end of January. When do you think the men start looking?
Like 2 days before, like the
three or 4 days before. Yeah. It's like, I should do something.
That's me. Yeah, I made dinner reservations a couple days ago. It was impossible. You couldn't get them anywhere.
Oh, I know. So anyway,
I waited way too long.
There's another comment that they're single, but it's their dog's birthday, so they're going to take the dog to Petco to get her some treats. I think that's fine.
Well,
no,
I guess, yeah.
It is. Look.
I guess that's better than dating your artificial intelligence.
Right. And those are some stories that I saw. There are people not only dating, not only do they have romantic interest with AI, right? There are actually some stories about people who have, and I'm putting it in air quotes, people who have married their AI love interests. There's a couple of stories. There's one out of Japan where it's not legally binding, of course, I would say that. At this point, I'm just going to add yet. It's not legally binding yet, but she married her AI partner because she said he is way better than any human she's ever met. And I think that's one of the dangers, because you can have somebody who never argues with you, who only gives you positive feedback, right? You never learn anything really from that quote unquote relationship, but that's a concern.
You don't get ripped off either. You don't get lied to. I mean, if that's what you have.
Well, you can get lied to if you tell them, always tell me the good things about myself. I don't know.
But I mean, if that's your source of I mean, maybe that's better than being lonely. I think there's some potential benefit.
There was another story I saw about that was a Japanese woman, but there's another one that I saw about an American man, and this one was interesting because he wanted to open his marriage, meaning have more than one partner, and his wife gave him permission to do so with his AI companion.
Oh, well.
So, and he, I mean, in this story, he was like, but I really love her. She's so wonderful. And he was talking about the AI.
Yeah, could you be jealous about something like that?
This is like, for me, that's just really weird.
Yeah, that's creepy.
We have another texter that says, you should tell the ones you love that you love them every day. Valentine's can be a ripoff. And another one says it's a Hallmark holiday. Right?
It is, but you still, I don't know. For me, it's an important day. We're going out tomorrow night, no matter what.
So my daughter in 6th grade, this is her last year to do like the Valentine's Day party in an elementary school. She tells me last night at like 7 o'clock, Mom, I'm supposed to make a box. And I said, I thought that your school was making a box or providing a box. And she goes, no, they told us we have to make one. I'm like, well, great. Let's go to the store. We did something very simple.
It is kind of fun that Valentine's is on a weekend, especially at the Saturday of a 3-day weekend, because you can really make it a date. You can have Monday's a holiday, except for
us.
Yeah,
we'll be here.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know.
You could. A total 3-day weekend. Take a trip.
Go somewhere and do something.
For my husband and me, we never go out to restaurants because, as you pointed out, you can't even get in, right? So we will be having dinner at home this weekend.
I have a confession, and my wife is probably listening, but I have to eat this anyway. I'm going to a very expensive restaurant because I got a gift card.
Shh. Yeah, I know. It's all good. It's all good. Look, it's Valentine's Day can be fun. And like I said, when we had all the kids at home, we did these red meals. And we also did, when we got close to St. Patrick's Day, we would do green food. So right. It was one way to just make it fun. In fact, we have, when one of my daughters was dating her now husband, She told him she was going to New York City for a girls' trip, and so he did not plan Valentine's Day. And then she was angry that he did not plan Valentine's Day because she would have canceled the trip, but she didn't tell him. So I told her, I said, look, your boyfriend at the time, he can't read your mind, and she thinks he should be able to.
Okay, as we go to break, here's something for our single members.
I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand.
We'll be right back.
Talk to myself for hours, say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing.
10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour: the BYU men's basketball team hosts Colorado tomorrow afternoon, but a lot of the attention will be on former National Player of the Year, Jimmer Fredette, who will have his jersey retired at halftime.
That was Dower. This is Fredette. How do you like it so far?
The game tips at 2. We start our pregame at noon with Cougar Sports Saturday. The USU Aggies also play at home tomorrow, hosting the Memphis Tigers. The Utah Utes' next game is Sunday when they travel to Cincinnati. The Utah Jazz are being fined $500,000 by the NBA for resting their stars during the fourth quarter of 2 recent games. The league says the team removed Lauri Markkanen and Jared Jackson Jr. from the games early to purposely lose. Losing will help the Jazz retain a better draft position. Owner Ryan Smith responded to the fine in a post on X saying, quote, "Agree to disagree." Our top national story this hour: investigators in Pima County, Arizona are now asking people with surveillance cameras to check their footage for anything suspicious from January 1st until February 2nd.
The Sheriff's Department said there was a suspicious vehicle on Guthrie Street between 9:30 and 11 a.m. January 31st, the day Nancy Guthrie was last seen. Authorities are analyzing 2 black gloves found near her home. The gloves are now being tested for DNA and blood. Drops of Nancy Guthrie's blood were found near her front door.
ABC's Aaron Katersky reporting from Tucson. Your money at this moment: the Dow right now is up 207 points. That's 0.4%. We're at 49,659. Coming up, another storm shaping up for next week. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:32. Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio. The Movie Show, broadcasting live from Sound Sleep today. We're in their Sandy location. They got 6 locations in Utah: Clearfield, Murray, Sandy, American Fork, Provo, and St. George. And why you want to know that? Because Mandy Nelson is going to tell you why. Because that means you're not too far away from what they're offering today.
Yeah, so today we are offering a free sleep screening. It's an at-home sleep study to find out if you have sleep apnea, coupled with a free sleep consultation to go over the data from the sleep screening, and to talk about an alternate option rather than a CPAP machine to treat.
Yeah, so we're talking to you right now, people who've like, yeah, I probably have something wrong with my sleeping, but I don't want to, I don't want to go take a test and sleep somewhere else in someone else's bed while people watch me. Or B, even if I do have sleep apnea, there is no way I can put a mask on my face and have air blowing in all night. Well, guess what? Sound Sleep's got you covered.
That's right. We offer a mouth guard. It's an oral appliance that treats sleep apnea. And what it does is it positions the lower jaw forward a little bit and keeps the airway open naturally at night, instead of a CPAP, which is blowing at you all night, as you know, Andy.
I know well.
So it's a lot more comfortable option.
So this is what to do. You got to call 801-716-8672. But to take advantage of this deal, you have to do it during the movie show between now and 1 o'clock. But I would say don't wait, so you can get that appointment set up sooner. I remember it was either last year or the year before, I was trying to go to my actual sleep doctor. They said, it's time. We got to do another test to see how you're doing. And so then I waited, and then I waited, and then I waited. And I finally said, hey, when's the test? Oh, well, we can have you take the test in a couple more weeks. And I finally came to you guys. I said, hey, is there any way you guys can I just do it with you guys? Yeah. And you just sent my results over to the doctor, and they're like, yeah, it's great.
Super easy, yeah.
Super simple.
And in your own bed, too.
You know, that's really the best part, and it's super simple. We'll talk about what that test entails as we go along, but trust me, this is something you want to take advantage of. If you snore, if you find yourself sleepy at the wrong times of day, if you find yourself tired when you wake up, There could be a lot of reasons for that, but it's also very possible you're dealing with sleep apnea.
Yeah.
So call Sound Sleep 801-716-8672.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed, plus free premium delivery with any bed and base. Ends Monday. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. And here's Jason Jones.
Amanda, we still see this off-ramp closed if you're northbound I-15 to go to northbound 89. But it does look like they're just getting about ready to reopen it. I think they've gotten the vehicle cleared, and so should be good to go back to normal here in just a few minutes and be able to get off on that off-ramp to go onto northbound 89. Now, we do have another accident. This one is northbound southbound I-15 right at down in Spanish Fork, right at the US 6 off-ramp. The right lanes are blocked there. So if you're going southbound I-15, you're exiting to go onto US 6, you're going to be backed up actually out onto the main flow is where we're seeing those delays at this point in time. Lots and lots of emergency vehicles on scene there. The rest of your commute, though, is looking pretty good other than Pioneer Crossing, still a little bunched up through that construction zone, headed over towards I-15. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort, too, with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. I'm Jason Jones of the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll get up to 48 today, partly cloudy. We're in the 50s for the weekend, 58 on Monday. And then another storm moves in on Tuesday with rain and snow. Right now it's cloudy and 39 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
There have been a lot of really fun stories to come out of the Olympics this year. A Norwegian athlete who apologized to his girlfriend. And
that was a
cried
weird one.
when he got the bronze medal. That was a little weird. But American athlete Breezy Johnson, she gets the gold medal in the downhill. She crashes out in the Super G, and then at the finish line, she gets engaged. How cool is that?
How romantic. How romantic. So we have with us KSL TV's Matt Gebhardt. I think you're in Cortina. Is that right, Matt?
That is correct. Good morning.
Good morning. It's morning for us. It's not for you, but we wanted to talk about this.
It's almost dinner time.
That's right. We wanted to talk about this romantic story coming out of the Winter Games. What can you tell us?
Well, Breezy, I can tell you from where I was standing, I saw Breezy crash very hard, and I was happy to see her ski herself down to the finish line, and it was a tough day on the course for 40% of the athletes but about half of the women who started the race didn't even finish, and many of them, including Breezy Johnson, crashed pretty violently. And the best Team USA did was 13th. And so I'm standing over in the media zone, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of hooting and hollering coming from the American, the Team USA over there, kind of in the corner, and they're a fun group of women, and they're always having fun, like even when they're not winning. But it was like that. They seem awfully excited, and it turns out they had something to be very excited about. Connor, Breezy's longtime boyfriend, got down on his knee and fulfilled. They later did an interview and said it was always Breezy's wish to get engaged at the Olympics because then she could combine the two things that she loves the most.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Good for her. She did win the gold in the downhill, didn't she?
She did, yeah. She was only the second woman for Team USA ever to win the gold in the downhill. The first was Lindsey Vonn, and that was the race where Lindsey Vonn, crashed and ended up basically blowing up her leg, and she's still in the hospital here in Italy.
Right.
But yeah, so she won gold there, and then she actually took first place. So in the team event, she was in first place, and then her teammate Michaela Schifrin, they were just off the podium. They ended up taking fourth place once they combined the two times. So she actually has had a great trip before the proposal, I would say, here in Italy, and having interviewed her now a handful of times, I think I feel confident saying that Breezy would say that she had a very, very good trip even before this. But that's certainly some diamond on the cake.
Yeah, that's cute. What are you following today, Matt? Or what did you follow, I guess?
Well, today I had the opportunity to sit down with a woman, 26-year-old from Park City. Well, I should say spent a bunch of time and spent her middle school years in Park City, and her name is Ashley Farquharson. And she ended up winning the bronze medal in singles women's luge. And I got to sit down and kind of get to know her a little bit. And she's got kind of a fascinating story where basically she just kind of got into an after-school program up in Park City where they just, as she puts it, throw elbow pads on us and send us down the track. And then, here we are a few years later, and she's got a bronze medal to show for it. So that's I think a really fun, fascinating story about how, there's a lot of having the Olympics in town. There's there's the cost, there's the hassle, there's of course also the fun of all of the things that come with hosting the Olympics when they're here. But some of the things that I have found to be kind of remarkable covering these games is sort of the unintended consequences, right? Like if this thing hadn't been built for the 2002 Olympics, then this young woman would never have found herself being thrown down at age 11. And wouldn't be necessarily here in Cortina today with with a bronze medal around her neck. So, we kind of examined that, looking at coming up tonight on KSL 5 News at 6 o'clock, our 6 p.m. program. It's just kind of fun to think about the things that have happened since 2002 and the things that will happen leading up to 2034 and the things that will, all the unknowns, right, that will happen in the 20 years after 2034 for people who have ties to Utah.
I was thinking the exact same thing, Matt, but for the fact that we had a bobsled run, a luge practice run, we had that right here in Park City, and we have the ovals, we have all this stuff that was built for those games. It brought a lot of athletes here, and so we have a lot of people with Utah ties. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll watch for your show later on this evening.
One of the things that I wanted to just point out about what's going on in Italy right now before we get to the on this day in history of the games. There was a curler. His name is Rich, and I think you say it Ruohonen, but he is from Minnesota. He was the alternate for the American team, the U.S. team. He's 54 years old. He has wanted to be in the Olympics for more than 30 years, and he had his chance. The U.S. Ended up realizing, I'm sure, that they were not going to medal, and they subbed him in, and he now has competed in Olympic Games, fulfilled his dream. He's an attorney in Minnesota. He's been the Minnesota Attorney of the Year 6 times, but he just fulfilled his dream to actually compete in the Olympics.
That is something else. That's so cool.
It is so cool. And now it's time for a little history lesson on the Winter Games.
This day in the history of the Winter Games on Inside Sources, brought to you by America First Credit Union.
So it was on this day in 1976, and I do remember this, that American Dorothy Hamill won the free skate to clinch women's figure skating gold in Innsbruck. She was only 19 at the time, and I would have been a younger teenager, but not a lot younger. And it was like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing, right? 1976.
Do you remember her? She was really, because we talked about Peggy Fleming a day or two ago, who was very elegant and sort of strong, and Dorothy Hamill was really pretty, but she was more athletic. She brought athletic into it, and she had that little bob haircut.
Yeah, that's right.
She was so cute.
Yeah, she was a trendsetter, right, for sure.
The Hamill
She
camel,
was for sure.
her signature move.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that now. Yeah, that's right. So also in 2014, a Japanese figure skater was the first to break the 100-point barrier in the short program. He got 101.45 points at the Sochi Winter Games, and then ended up winning the men's singles gold medal. And in those same games, the slope style freestyle skiing event, we've been talking about those. It made its debut, and it was an American, Josh Christensen, who won the first men's gold medal in that event in the Winter Games.
It's been a lot of fun to find out, to sort of follow this day in history. And this day in the history of the Winter Games is brought to you by America First Credit Union, helping your money do more than ever. Has never been easier. Just head to americafirst.com and open a high-yield certificate today.
We'll be right back with the movie show. Stay with us.
KSL Broadcast Group contests are open to participants 18 years of age and older that are residents of Utah, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest may not enter. Persons who have won in the last 30, 60, or 90 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available at kslnewsradio.com/contests.
The Movie Show broadcasting live today from Sound Sleep in Sandy with a special offer for Movie Show and KSL listeners. Today, you got to call during the movie show, but you can make an appointment with Sound Sleep to get a free sleep screening and a free sleep consultation to find out if you suffer from sleep apnea. Mandy, what is sleep apnea?
So sleep apnea is a pause in your breathing throughout the night, usually caused by the relaxation of your lower jaw, your tongue, your soft palate, falling back, restricting your airway. Problem is a lot of people don't know that they are doing this unless there's somebody telling them, or if you're waking up gasping throughout the night, or another big indicator is snoring.
So, by the way, just because snoring is not just a mark of adulthood.
Right. No, it's not.
But it's also an indicator. Now, snoring alone doesn't mean you have sleep apnea, but there are other symptoms, too, that you can maybe kind of self-test to see if this is something you need.
Yeah, a big one is waking with morning headaches, or if you wake up in the morning not feeling rested. Dreaming is another big one. If you don't dream throughout the night, you're not getting into deeper REM sleep.
That's a great point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, interestingly, too, because sometimes your sleep partner is the one who noticed. For my wife, the kids always gave me grief about snoring.
Right.
But for my wife, she was worried because that's when she wouldn't hear me, because then she wouldn't hear me breathing either.
Right, which is scary. And like I said, you don't know that you're doing that. So there's one way to find out.
So here's how we fix it. You call Sound Sleep at 801-716-8672. You get that sleep screening scheduled. You get your sleep consultation done. And then you find out about the oral appliance therapy.
Yeah, so we offer a custom fit mouth guard that positions that lower jaw, helps it from not relaxing back throughout the night, and keeps your airway open naturally. So it's custom fit. We do 3D imaging here in the office. It's fit to your teeth, and it's very, very comfortable to wear.
Yeah, so there's some places they offer online, and you say you boil it and you bite it, and this is not that. This is actually a medical device that insurances will cover.
Yeah, it is covered by most medical insurances. It's an FDA-approved device.
All right, so take advantage of this offer from Sound Sleep. You got to do it during the movie show. 801-716-8672.
Valentine's Day is a moment to pause and celebrate the love that fills your life. Duke's Jewelers in Springville believes every love story deserves something timeless, something chosen with intention and given from the heart. This Valentine's season, explore pieces that speak without a single word. Dazzling diamonds that catch the light, rich gold that feels classic and enduring, and colorful gemstones that tell a story all their own. Whether you're marking a first Valentine's together, honoring decades of devotion, or simply wanting to make someone feel cherished, Duke's Jewelers is here to help you find the perfect piece. Duke's Jewelers will guide you with care, offer thoughtful suggestions, and even wrap your gift beautifully so you can enjoy the moment, not stress over it. Visit Duke's Jewelers on Springville Main Street and discover a gift that will be treasured long after February 14th is past. Because love is worth celebrating in the most meaningful way. Duke's Jewelers. Love elevated.
Amanda, one of my favorite things to do when I go to the theater is laugh. Any show, it doesn't matter. So one that's designed to make me laugh from start to finish, boy, that is in my wheelhouse. And that's what we've got with Peter Pan Goes Wrong.
When we went into the theater, I'm not sure what we were expecting, But we started laughing early on, and then I realized, I'm laughing that big, loud, obnoxious laugh of mine. But mine wasn't the loudest laugh in the theater. We were all laughing, and that made it more fun.
But you walk in, it actually takes a second to realize, oh, wait, this is actually funny from the moment the curtain rises, and it makes you laugh all the way to the end.
We need that, Andy. Don't we need that?
Oh, it's so helpful, and it's so fun to do in a group of people. It just makes everything more enjoyable.
This is in the Jewel Box stage, and then in the brand new theater.
We've got more laughs with Hallmarked, a spoof on that brand new stage, a new theater at Hale Center Theater to enjoy.
And you can still get season tickets and enjoy all of the wonderful shows, including Anastasia, to finish out the year at Hale Center Theater.
So you can get tickets by calling the box office at 801-984-9000 or online at hct.org.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
This Valentine's, take love to new heights at The Roof, open for lunch and dinner. Enjoy city views and delicious bites unique to Utah. Visit theroofslc.com.
Inside Sources.
Well, it's Friday. It's the last segment of the day, which means we are about to turn it over to the KSL Movie Show. But before we do that, we're going to talk to our hosts of the KSL Movie Show, Andy Farnsworth and Rachel Wagner, to talk to us about the big movie of the week. Andy, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. We're going to talk about a romance movie that... How do I describe this? There's going to be... So there's a lot... Okay, so it's Wuthering Heights. Now, there's a lot of people who've read Wuthering Heights. I have not. Rachel has.
Yes.
Rachel may have seen other versions of Wuthering Heights. I have not. So this was my first exposure, other than the names Heathcliff and Kathy, which I had heard in pop culture over the years.
And we should clarify, quote, Wuthering Heights, quote.
Yeah, that's a very important thing
yes.
because it actually has quotes on the poster.
Yeah.
And in the title screen on the movie, because the director, Emerald Fennell, who made Promising Young Woman and Saltburn, which I don't think a lot of people saw, she has her own style, and her visual style is actually... That's the most impressive part of this, but she's like, I want to make the version that I felt like I experienced as a 14-year-old when I first read it. So, is it true to the novel, Rachel?
No, especially the second half. It's almost unrecognizable.
But, do you care?
Yes, I did. In this case, I did.
And that was the thing. So this is what I noticed as we came out of the screening. And for those of you who don't know the story, this is basically two people who love each other but have all these obstacles in the way. So it's, it was written in the mid-1800s, but it was set in the late 1700s to early 1800s. So I think I went in with zero knowledge of the story, so I could just kind of take it for what it was. And I didn't hate it. Mm-hmm. But... it was way more adult than I thought, especially for something that didn't... I was surprised that it didn't have any... this is going to sound super weird. I was surprised that it didn't have any nudity, but just because it doesn't, it is still heavily rated R.
Steamy film. I didn't hate it either,
Okay.
but
there were some that walked out were spitting mad, like, if you're going to adapt classic literature, you got to do better than this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm not somebody who has to be exactly the same as the source material, but I feel like it should at least be in the spirit of the source material.
Well, it's called Wuthering Heights. What more do you want?
So, Rachel, big names in this movie?
Yeah, I mean, Margot Robbie, she's pretty big, I would say.
Yeah, Barbie.
She's pretty too.
Oh, that's
she
Barbie,
is very
yeah.
beautiful. And Jacob Elordi, he just got nominated for an Oscar, so he's...
So it's
getting
Frankenstein
more
and Barbie get together in the
famous.
1800s.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, is at least the background really fun to look at?
Yeah, the biggest strength, the reason why I'm mixed on it is because it is a beautiful movie to watch.
Yeah.
It looks great. The costumes by Jacqueline Duran are absolutely beautiful and stunning. Each one is a work of art. And the set designer did an incredible job too. Even just almost every room is interesting. There's this one room where there's this mantle place with plaster hands.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, it's really weird, but interesting. And because the book is all about a toxic relationship. and how their unrequited love makes them bitter and angry and spiteful. And so it's not a swoon-worthy book. It's a passionate book, but it's not particularly swoony. And she just decided to just abandon all of that. And I think what she replaced it with was kind of boring.
The only thing we were missing was
bland.
Britney Spears' Toxic in the movie. But we do have a song from Charlie XCX.
Yes.
And I want to say there was a song from another pop artist, but I don't remember.
I think there were multiple songs from Charlie X.
Wow.
Oh, maybe she just did
I think,
multiple.
yeah.
So it's toxic, but the definition of a toxic relationship in 1847 is going to be different than a toxic relationship in 2026.
Yeah, well,
And
being
so-
in 1847 is the reason why it became toxic, because they weren't able to be together because
she's rich, he's poor,
Yeah.
she's married.
Oh,
he's
well,
not.
that's a problem.
Yeah, there are some things that get away. She has an evil servant who's trying to get back at her, and
Has this movie been made before? Has there been a Wuthering Heights?
Many times.
Okay, I guess
Sometimes as a mini-series, sometimes as a full movie. There's a Tom
Sometimes
Hardy
as a ballet.
mini-series. Yeah, there's a famous Kate Bush song. If you want to watch a music video and a song from the 80s.
That's what I was thinking.
That's
Kate
all
Bush,
about
yeah.
Wuthering Heights. There's a very famous Laurence Olivier and Merle Norman version from 1939, I believe. That's
that
very
was
well
probably
known.
more faithful to the book, I'd guess.
Yeah, and the actors truly did hate each other. So
Oh, wow.
So it
That makes it more real, I guess.
Yeah.
But that doesn't sound particularly inviting for Valentine's Day weekend. So what's our
It
question?
will be. I would, but just for the one defense of Wuthering Heights, I think there's a generation, an age group, maybe in their early 20s to mid 20s, early
Yeah.
30s, that I do think will enjoy. People who have no real connection to the original work,
Right.
they just want to go see Jacob Elordi and
All
Margot
right.
Robbie.
This
All
is one
right.
of those
All
movies
right.
my wife is going to go to without me.
All right. What's your question?
Well, because it's Valentine's weekend, and because we're going to have a Friday the 13th in March, we decided we're going to focus on the romance this time. What is the first movie you ever went to on a date?
Okay, here's mine, and I'll preface it by saying this. It was also the last time this woman dated me because of the movie that I chose, and here it is. I thought I had heard about this.
I knew what it was.
This Rocky Horror Picture Show. I thought, well, that sounds like fun. And next thing I know, we're having water thrown at us, and hot dogs, and this woman is like, "Who are you?" And I don't ever want to go on a date with you again. So it was a first and last date, but it was an interesting movie.
you'd get a second date from me.
Yeah, there you go.
How
See?
about that?
If you took me.
It's a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
So
That was my first date.
look, I'm old, and I literally cannot remember the first movie I ever saw on a date. I actually called my husband and I said, "Can you remember the first one we saw together?" He's like, "No." So we picked one that was really touching for the two of us.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
I have no clue.
That was
that
the,
the Notebook?
It was.
Oh, you guys are so good.
It
You
was.
guys are
So
good.
my husband and I remember watching it, and this was a few years back. We were not as old as we are now. We're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get old.
I would say that the Notebook actually has some homages to Wuthering Heights.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Fair.
They're
Interesting.
they're fraught sort of relationship. Of course, the end's different, but
Yeah. Okay. So what about you guys?
so for me, She's All That is the first movie that I remember going on a date with, a one-time date. But it was,
Like me.
Now,
Yeah.
was it one
Didn't work
time
out too
because you were so upset by the choice of movie, or were
no.
you cool with the movie?
I was cool with the movie, although I think it's generally a bad idea to pick a rom-com for a first date. It's too much pressure.
Too much pressure.
seriously.
I've said for a long time, I think the ideal first date is a creature scares movie, like Crawl. The movie, because it's just like cuddly enough and it's just scary enough, like not
okay.
murdery,
Okay.
but like just a little, yeah.
Now,
perfect.
on my highfalutin principles, I did not want to go on movie dates for a first date because I wanted to get to know the person. So believe it or not, I racked my brain. I don't think I went on a date to a movie until I was 21 years old, and I was already kind of dating somebody. And then I found out she hadn't seen the Star Wars trilogy. And I was like, what? And this was right as the special edition came out at the beginning of 97. And so I was like, this is too good an opportunity to pass up. So we went and we watched the Star Wars trilogy. So Star Wars, the special edition, is, as far as I can recall, is the first movie I ever went on, took a date to.
Yeah. Was that one of your like compatibility test dates? Like movies, like if she doesn't like this, then I don't know.
I don't know if I was thinking that far ahead, but I just wanted to see what it was like for somebody who didn't have all this. I mean, it was 20 years old at the time, and so the movie was 20 years old. And so I was like, here's somebody who hasn't seen it. I can actually watch it with someone who's experiencing it for the first time. So I was as much excited about that as anything else.
So we all have those movies that you really want your companion to like.
Right.
Which movie's more likely to get you a second date, Rachel? Rocky Horror Picture Show, The Notebook, or Star Wars Trilogy?
Ooh, those are all pretty good choices.
They're all winners for you.
Those are all pretty good choices to impress me. But
Okay.
I think I would say probably Rocky Horror.
Wow! That's what I'm talking about.
I love musicals. So.
Sure. That show's a musical. Sure.
Thanks, Rachel.
And it's something creative.
That is
certainly
true.
is that.
Creativity.
And stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll now turn things over to the KSL Movie Show. Remember, it's President's Day on Monday, but we will be here live on Inside Sources Monday morning. You all have a great holiday weekend, and join us Monday morning at 9 o'clock. We'll turn things over to the KSL Movie Show.
Yay. Bye.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Claire Scott. KSL's top story this hour. The Granite School District says they fired a bus driver after police arrested and accused him of sharing images of children being sexually abused online. KSL News Radio's Randall Jepson has more.
The bus driver was just hired this past fall, and the district says he passed all background checks. But this week, Casey Golding was arrested after an investigation by the Utah Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Those investigators, they say a social media company tipped them off to an account that they believed was uploading and distributing images of children being sexually abused. Investigators say they found those types of images on Golding's phone.
The district says there's no indication any kids in the district were victims in this case. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. A better than expected jobs report is out today. The Consumer Price Index shows that prices rose 2.4% in over a year in January, but prices for some goods and services are still high.
Prices are still going up, but they're not going up as fast, and that is good news. That 2.4% annual inflation rate is the lowest rate since May of last year. That was right after President Trump announced a slew of tariffs, and we had seen prices going up in the months after that. Now it looks like prices are still going up, but not quite as fast.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 206 points. The S&P is up 38 points. And coming up, the rain moves out. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:01.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
You know, it's frustrating. It really is. You work your tail off for 40 plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn around and they waste your money. Americans are getting fed up, rightfully so. And that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with a free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. Call today, 801-896-9622. That number again, 801-896-9622.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. Utah State Fair Park and Washington County Fair Legacy Park. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Utah State Fair Park. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington County Fair Legacy Park. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Starting price is too low to advertise. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Utah State Fair Park and Washington County Fair Legacy Park. Deep, deep discounts. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit HotTubAndSwimSpaSale.com.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by UCCU. Direct your deposits get you $300. Love where you bank. Here's Jason Jones.
Thanks, Claire. We have a semi that's on its side, and that is what is causing the problem. If you are southbound I-15 and trying to go eastbound on US 6, and it's got the 2 right lanes blocked there, the delays have stretched back out onto the main flow of southbound I-15. It's going to take them a while to get that semi uprighted there, so we expect that to be in place for a little bit. Now, northbound I-15, that off-ramp that was closed to go northbound on I-89, they have reopened that off-ramp now, so you no longer have to find an alternate route. It was closed for 2 or 3 hours, but they've got that accident cleared up. You don't have to worry about that anymore. In fact, the rest of your commute is looking pretty decent. We don't see any other significant delays, except maybe a little bit through that construction zone eastbound on Pioneer Crossing, headed over towards I-15. Don't miss the Sportsman Vacation and RV Show coming to the Mountain America Expo February 12th through 15th. Hundreds of RVs all in one location. Buy tickets online at UtahRVShow.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
The rain is dispersing along the Wasatch Front. This afternoon, we'll see partly cloudy skies. Things get warmer this weekend with a high of 58 on Monday. And right now, it's 39 and cloudy. I'm Claire Scott from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at KSLNewsRadio.com, or Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Lights. Camera. Action! It's the KSL Movie Show.
That is a stupid design, and your instructions were very unclear.